worse, and that the currencies will be revalued. And I listen, Lori, but at sometimes I'm kind of like, yeah, that might not happen, doomsday prepper type stuff. But here we are. We're
Right.
literally in crazy town. And I guess, I don't know, half the time I think I'm dreaming.
Yeah, it feels like it, like surreal. Like, is
Yeah,
this really happening?
what's that? Well, yeah, that it's all happening. But I also think it's fantastic. I do think it's fantastic that the world is resetting to a degree. It gives us the option of being able to fix a lot of things that we would never have any ability to fix. Staying under the boot of what we had going, which I don't think anybody really understood the depth of the tyranny and control that we're under. And I guess what's scary to me is now, like, and what I appreciate how he linked, and I have to look at his name. He wrote a book. I have to look at it and find his book. But the fact that he linked it all together, where you have all the different people protesting in the streets, but they're all protesting the same exact problem, but they're being driven to argue over side effects. It's huge.
Hmm.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So, you seem tired this morning.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stayed up a little bit late. I was watching the hurricane, even though, I knew it wasn't coming here. I just kind of got hyped up. So,
Well, it's evil. Did you see is this normal for the radar picture to show black? I don't think I've ever seen a black hurricane before.
yeah, me either.
There seems like there's so many crazy things that are happening all at once. And
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
and anyone who thinks this is all coincidental is crazy. We're in the middle of a drought. Plants are dying everywhere. It's been like 90 degrees for 3 weeks in a row. Then you had that hurricane rain. And between that and California's weather, currency reset, flirting with war on a global scale, a virus pandemic, people in the streets protesting. The left is out now. The right's going to be out protesting again. And it's just like, anyone who thinks this is all coincidental is really needs to have their head examined.
Right. Exactly. The schools, everything is in bizarre land, Like here in Houston, their schools are going to virtually open on the 8th of September, but after 6 weeks, they'll reconsider physical presence school, is what they said. And parents already have the option to take the full semester virtual or the entire school year. So, it's all just crazy. Everything is changing for sure, definitely. So,
Well, it's a full on reset everywhere. And I don't know why anybody would send their kids back in this nonsense.
no.
And especially with the laws like in New York, the whole flirting with taking kids directly out of school because someone in the house tested positive or whatever, or like just thinking about the abuse and the potential for some sort of a mistake that ends up in taking a kid out of school and taking them to some quarantine facility. Like we're in insane times right now.
Definitely. Yeah. Giant clusterfuck. That's right, Tiana. And Jackie, I think, had put on about HARP with the hurricane. So yesterday, when I was looking at the Houston forecast, that was at the time they were saying we were in the path, we were part of possibly where it was going to go. Yet the forecast was saying 10, 20% rain the same temperatures, nothing about wind. So I was thinking they already know, that thought hit me. They already know where it's going to go, and it ain't going to be here. And then the Ice Age farmer had something on about it's going right up through rice country, so they can, mess up the rice production. Speaking of the food chain. So right through Louisiana, Alabama, Louisiana's got the swamps. It's perfect, rice paddy land, kind of like Vietnam or something. So they've got crawdads and rice there.
Right.
And gators. So yeah, just it's all insanity. So controlled.
And that is where we are right now. So what I'm doing is I'm inviting a few people to come on if they want to come on.
Good.
I'm trying to change the format. I listen to myself all the time, and I'd rather hear more from you guys. If anybody wants to join in, send me an inbox, and I will send you the link to join the conversation. I think that if you can take out the food chain, then you can effectively bring everybody to their knees. That's what I think Harper's for. Hey, Tia.
Hello.
Yeah, the food chain and we are really seeing, feeling, and we'll feel more how dependent we are on it. This is when we all say, Gerard, you've been right all these years telling us to grow something, begging us to grow food.
But they've always been fucking with our food supply, though. I mean, that's not anything new. Now they're just making it scarce. Now they're just, you either have your own or you have none.
Yeah.
So, yay. I wanted to talk, I'm glad we're talking. This online crap has got me freaked out. Can we talk about the online schooling?
Yeah. If that's okay with Gerard, yeah. Because you have girls, you have daughters, school age or getting to be school age.
Well, I feel like for me, it's all just a big setup. Whether you're in the schools or you're on the online, they're setting you up to be mindfuck, clusterfuck. It's again an attack on the kids. So if we can't do it in schools, we're gonna find a way to do it online, and they found a way. And it's appalling. I'm just
Yeah. So homeschooling, you can go through the school district or you can take them out of the school district, which is what I would think would be advisable.
Then how do you keep the state off of your back if you're not in the school system?
I think there are state laws. There's been a K through 12, I think it's called, online school for several years. I had Kaylee in it back when she was in 7th grade, 8th grade. Yeah, so that's been 8 years or more. So that is not affiliated with the school. It's like a private school, but it's online and it has a curriculum, and it's not parochial or whatever, like religious oriented. Because I would
my point
those two.
My point with the online is, like any online issue, they can be hacked, and that's been the issue. They're being hacked. The pedos are hacking the school sites and putting in their own content, and none of it's good. On top of the fact, they're not allowing children to be supervised while online, so they're allowed to just say and do whatever they want to your child while you're online. I'm so not okay with this.
Oh, well, definitely I would be supervising. Like with Kaylee, she had some really severe emotional issues and ADHD, which I think we have all these labels, but couldn't focus, bottom line, had been living abused for years and no one knew from a small child. No one knew the abuser. So she had I had to sit there right with her. Like I would go to work 5 days a week or whatever. On the weekend, I'd be sitting in her classroom with her, basically online, like, step by step. You got to do this, you got to do that.
Telling parents you can't
So
do that due to privacy laws. You can't do that now.
that's ridiculous, and just defy those laws, or just take them out and homeschool, meaning you're teaching them. You're teaching them with experience, with books you have, with online stuff you find. It's all out there. All the knowledge is out there, and you can discern if it's fake or real knowledge, or knowledge that's important enough to go into.
Well,
But
I love the idea.
you're their teacher. You're their teacher and their mother, and no one tells you you can't get to separate from your own children. You know that. You're a mom
Exactly.
there, you lived
Well,
it.
I love the idea of homeschooling. I don't like the idea of dictating how and what, and I don't. I'm so over this government. I can't wait till we're to the point where we don't need to be told what to do like little children anymore. I want to be a grown up.
Yes, thank
You
you.
get grown up.
Yeah. The stuff they tell us to do anyway is ridiculous and horrible. Mandated shit. Why do we have to register our car just to pay the money every year, for one small thing? Why do we need insurance on everything? What if I don't want insurance, there's no options. Like it's we're slaves, to the system to varying degrees.
I'm still championing the mole people. I still want to be a mole people.
Yeah.
I want to go underground, fuck them all.
I want to be on the commune, raising the.
I mean, the more I see how dictatorish they are, I don't see how communes are going to be possible. I mean, they just come over and take whatever they want. They're not going to let you just live happily and away from them.
It depends.
So until there is
numbers too, numbers. I mean, there are people living on communes now. We know that. They haven't come and raided them out, or maybe they have. Who knows what they've done, because we have the fake news world. But I don't know. I'm just saying that's my utopian place. Not a mole, but.
I saw a video this morning of a man in Australia being stopped for walking down the freaking street with a face mask on. Had the mask on and everything. But yeah, you're too far from home, so.
Yeah, Australia is like Melbourne.
I'm sad for those people.
It's insane. Did you see about the trucker? He's been incarcerated for, I believe it's 3 weeks now, for refusing to wear a mask. But they came, got him out of his home, dragged him off, locked him up, and he's accruing fines as he goes.
Wow.
A dad and husband and the father of the family. So it's just craziness.
But we're still peaceful about it, and we're still coming from love. That was me coming from love.
Yeah. I hear you. And I know. People think, hello. Was that?
She had to say hi, Lori. She heard
Chloe
your voice.
or Zoe?
That was Zoe. She's Lori. She came running. Gotta say hi.
Girlfriend. Hey, girlfriend. Almost your birthday.
Almost your birthday. Are you getting excited?
Yes, and I am so excited. I've been talking about it every freaking day.
Every day.
She talks about it every freaking day. She's so cute.
Yes. Yeah, so, people say, oh, your head's in the clouds with my hippy-dippy inspirational stuff about be happy, happiness is a choice. Hey, I'm talking to myself. It just so happens I've got the screen in front of me and other people are hearing it because I have to. For me to survive, You know, prison's in the mind, you know.
Well,
And they
I understand the concept. I just think it's not enough. I don't think they're gonna let us get away with just be happy and smile. That's not gonna fix this. That's not gonna change anything. I mean, I understand raise your vibration and natural. I get all that. I get it. But these people are not playing by the rules. They are not doing things fairly. They are not doing things justly. So it's time to shake shit up a little bit. It's time to become unconventional and not do shit the way we're supposed to be doing shit. And I don't know. It's time to relieve some frustration that has been building and building and building, and let's just start blowing some shit up. I'm ready to start blowing some shit up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's not the answer to
I know it's not the answer, but it would feel so good.
problems. But yeah. And then it's kind of like, you know, none of us, no individual, I don't think can do it on their own. There's not a Superman, Batman hero, you know, Dudley Do Right, whatever, hero, superhero coming in to save us. I don't think. I can't see the scenario going that way. So it's
They're
going to
telling me
have to be
I can't see my son
collective.
anymore, Lori.
What
They're
was that?
telling me I can't see my son anymore.
Oh my
If I
God.
get a vaccine, I can't see him.
Oh my shit. I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
So that means I just die without seeing my kid again? I mean, I'm supposed to be okay with this? I'm not okay with this.
Not at all. They're saying none at all, right?
Not at all. Fine then, I'll FaceTime him. Let me FaceTime him. They said no, it's too emotionally distressful for him. They won't even let me FaceTime him.
So they've stolen him.
They've,
Totally.
yeah. So I'm kind of beyond the reason of let's just be happy and let's just wait till shit. I can't wait. My kid's dying. My kid needs me. I can't wait. I need my son. I can't just be happy and wait for everything to fix itself. It's not fixing itself. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. I'm frustrated. I'm just
No, I'm crying. I don't have anything to say to you except I love you and I'm so sorry.
I'm embarrassed. I came on here and cried last time. I didn't mean to, but now I'm doing it again. But
You
I'm
have
just
reason to cry.
this is not fair. I mean, nobody said life was fair. I get it, but just man.
So
Missing
your
my
son he's 12 years old
He's 12. He'll
and
be
he's
13.
been in really fragile health for a long time.
He was born terminal. He wasn't supposed to live past 3 months. He's got Job syndrome. And he's
Job,
had
Job, like Job in the Bible?
Job syndrome. Yeah.
I have to look it up. Yeah, very rare sound.
It's horrific. Wait till you look it up. It's horrific. He's had 2 heart surgeries. He's had cancer twice. He's had kidney issues, liver issues, and if he gets too hot, his skin bleeds. It's horrific. It's just he needs his mom. No child goes through that without your mom. I mean, how do you keep a dying child from their mom and sleep at night with any kind of fucking clean conscience? I don't understand how.
They don't have a conscience. They don't have a conscience. We're dealing with monster people. Definitely. To be able to do what they're doing. Yeah.
I haven't figured out how to explain it to my girls yet, though. I need you out. Yeah, I'm working on that. Words, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Raining harder, you know.
Hello, Mr. Jonathan Close.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you guys
Good morning.
doing?
Hey.
I've been better. How are you doing?
Good.
Good morning
Yeah.
to you.
going to try and set my phone here where it won't tip over.
I'm sorry. I had completely forgot that I was not on a conversation with Lori.
That is
I got kind of off guard. I have
What's
to
that?
remember what I'm talking to.
See, Tiana and I, yeah, we can easily forget because we do have phone conversations with the camera on, and sometimes we go live together as a guest. So, yeah, so we just talk very naturally and easily. Just like she's my my
And you
daughter.
can come on here and vent. Sorry, guys. I
That
wanted
one
to
is
regularly join the
adopted
conversation.
daughter. So I'm trying to prop my phone up too, and it's sliding. Sorry.
I didn't mean to come on here and take over the conversation. I'm sorry, guys. What were we talking about?
Go for it. No, don't. There's no takeover. I'm doing this because y'all are helping me, right? Like, we need to hear more voices and whatever you want to talk about.
Hey,
We need to
did
get
you
it
hear
all out
on
in the open.
September 5th? There's supposed to be a global movement on September 5th. Have you heard about it?
Okay, so
No, what is it?
that's a week from Saturday.
Soon. It's coming up.
Right.
Yeah. It's starting in Australia, in Victoria, I believe it is, because of their lockdown. They've decided
Oh, yeah.
September 5th is the day they all come out and just march. They're asking it to be global. Can you stand in solidarity with us and come out and march on September 5th? I plan to be there with bells on.
What's
So-
who's organizing it? Does anyone know? Is it an online thing or?
I think it's just an online thing. People are just, we're tired and let's do this. That's what I'm seeing anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and I hope they aren't out there with masks, but they're in a state where they're grabbing you if you are. So, Tiana, be sure to go back and read the comments. Jasmine just said something really pertinent to your situation. I want you to get all the help you can in every way you can. Okay, here, can you see it?
I can't see comments, but
Okay, I'm reading it. Jasmine Yvonne is saying 12 years old seems like he can have an advocate speak for him. And I'm sure he wants his mother. And his mother, you are best advocate. That is such bullshit. Yeah. There's
well,
nothing
the problem
legal.
is because of his health issues, they stole him at birth. I don't have full custody of him. I have what's called third party custody because of his health issues. And because at the time I gave birth, I didn't have insurance. And I was in a homeless shelter. And they said I was not equipped emotionally or financially to deal with his health issues. So they removed him from my custody. And they've had him ever since.
But you've been able to visit, etc.
I mean, depending the woman that has the custody of him, it's very much up to her if she feels he's mentally up to it or physically up to it, or she uses his illness a lot. He's not feeling well today. It's too upsetting for him, or we don't. Maybe the girls might have something he might catch, not today. Or there's just stipulations, and it's always been when she deems fit. So, I mean, it's a situation I'm kind of used to, but I don't feel it's a situation anybody should have to fucking get used to.
Well, yeah,
Right.
you're not supposed to get used to it. Like I said, that's when I got started. When I realized that as parents, you actually don't have any rights over your children.
No.
Is that when I realized through the family court system, they can take your kids anytime they want. People got wise to that. They stopped giving up their kids. Now they go get them from the schools. And this is why, and this is my perspective on most things, which is you can't have a world where a system has more power than people. This whole sovereignty consciousness thing is everything.
Yeah, I feel like we've given up full power.
We've given up way too much. We shouldn't give up any. So no, you're not supposed to get used to it. You're not supposed to feel good about it. Tiana, you're supposed to be angry. You're supposed to go through all the emotions. I will say this is that, I respect you to no ends. because you can tolerate what most people can't. And your kids are blessed to have you as a mother for the fact that you are keeping your calm. You know,
But
you
I'm
have
not.
little outbursts here and there,
I'm
but
not.
you're
I
not
go
doing some of
outside
the
and I yell and I
things that
scream and I
parents do.
throw shit.
So
No,
they have a very strong mother.
no, they
And I
don't.
wish
I go outside and throw all kinds of fits. I'm a
That's
hot fucking
okay.
mess.
I had your strength, to be
That's what
honest
you're
with you.
supposed
I
to do.
wish
You have to let it out. Going outside and throwing a fit, it does not mean you're not mature and responsible and holding it together. It means you are, and that's one way of coping with it. Most of us would not still be alive if we had been through a tenth of what you have in your life. Honestly. You are stronger, way stronger than you know.
But I'm coming from love and I'm so happy.
But, you know, the good thing, Tiana, is that now you have a lot of people listening. You have the Save the Children movement. You got a lot of people who are interested in what's happening to your children. 20 years ago, there was no even possibility to talk about this stuff. So, and what Jeannie said below, I want to link to what Tiana, you're going through. I do. Uh-oh, Christine, got to put your headset on. Christine's coming in. She's going to put her headset on. I'm going to say it quick, which is what Jeannie is saying. Never, under any circumstances, ever take your children to family court. Ever. You figure out whatever you can outside the court. Never take your child and give it to a judge and let that judge.
I didn't take them. They stole them. I
No.
didn't have a choice. It's not like I could say no
Tiana
thank you
never
and
had
just
a
opt
choice.
out. I didn't opt
Never
out.
had a choice. But on the other hand, I did go to family court, and that's how I saved my granddaughter from sex slavery with her father. So I'm telling you, it took years, and it took a lot of money. And I didn't even know that was happening. I just knew that I had to pay him every month just to be able to see her, and I had to pay to get their lights turned back on, and they were eating junk trash food, and I needed my granddaughter taken care of. And I fought long and hard in court legally and finally got her at 9 years old. So there's more than one side to every story, but
Yeah,
they
and there's
do.
no way this was a voluntary situation. They were legally kidnapped. I had no choice, no say, period. They took him and that was it.
Yeah. So what I was talking about, Tiana, is that people who take their kids to family court because of divorce, people who try to use them as weapons against each other, that's what I'm talking about. No, you have a very different case because, you know, for whatever reason, people still think it's a good idea to report their neighbors and report kids. Once your kid is in the system, it's very hard to get them out. The only way they came after me once before, and the only way I avoided Tiana, I was lucky enough to tell them that, hey, well, we're going to go to court. I'm hiring a lawyer, and I'm going to fight this right from the beginning. It was the only reason that they had backed down. But I'm making a statement for everybody else who still thinks that they're there to help. If you think child protection is there to help, you go ask a social worker off the record. Most social workers will tell you right up front, this is a business. It's about money coming in. We don't want to get involved at all, but we have a job to do. So I'm gonna let Christine come in. I'm gonna back out.
Hello, Christine. Where are you?
There you are. Hey.
Hey.
Okay. Hello.
Hey.
Okay. Hello. Do you hear me?
We
Yes.
hear you.
Do you hear us?
Yes.
Good.
I was actually.
You were asleep?
Okay.
What time
No,
is
I was not asleep. I didn't know how to get in. Okay, I'm in now. No, I was actually interesting. I worked in social service for children, and there was a system that we used, and that was actually working with the families from that family to. Do you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
Oh, yeah,
We're hearing every word.
awesome. So that was a system where they worked with the family members, aunties, uncles, grandmother, grandparents, so that the child stayed in the environment where it felt
Mhm.
safe. And they still try to do that. I mean, as far as I know, but now it's changed. I don't work anymore in that system, but that was the things we did.
That was in Belgium, right?
Yeah, that's in Belgium and in Holland, I
Belgium.
think. Yes.
So how long ago? About how long has it been?
Goh, that started when I was 45, something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
45. So that's
Not
15
that
years
long
ago.
ago. Yeah, not that long ago.
Not that long
And
ago,
then,
but same here. They cut very much in the budget for social welfare. So everything is like, yeah, it's getting less. It's getting worse. Same. So that.
yeah, Gerard worked in it too, you know?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I know both of you are good, wonderful, empathic, strong humans. So I know
Yeah,
you
I
did
hope
good
so.
work.
At that time, I had no idea what was actually going on after the curtains, like all those pedophilia. I have no idea because I was so naive. I knew there was incest, so we worked sometimes with parents who had incest. That's how far I knew sexual abuse was going on. But all that other stuff I learned just lately, the last 5 years. I didn't know that at that time. I was very naive. But yeah, it was like that. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's also it's such a thing. Poor, if you're poor, you have no rights. Poverty,
None.
Yeah.
none
None.
rights.
Yeah.
No rights. And that's
In this
such a
society, you
pity.
buy your rights with cash.
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I had to work very hard for a grandmother to save her grandchild. It took me a year to keep the child out of foster parents because she did very good job. But I couldn't, I didn't make it. I went to the judge and things like that. I didn't make it. I was not strong enough to speak up for for the parents. And later on, I found out the child was totally screwed, got in prostitution, and
Hmm. Trafficked out. Yeah,
trafficked down.
yeah.
And the
And that
grandmother
was
was, oh, yeah, I was
that was
crying because the grandmother was such, oh my God, it's terrible.
Yeah, see, in our case,
Oh,
they wouldn't even listen. The social services left her with him.
yeah, they don't
And I
listen.
thought, like, I had to put my own child and him, the mother and the father, you know, and both
Yeah,
of them were
and
like,
it's very
and,
heartbreaking because I had a very good bond with the child. He really was safe with me. And then you can't save the child. It's like I couldn't do it anymore. It's it was very
heartbreaking. Yeah.
heartbreaking. Hmm. But
Well, thank you for doing it the time that you did do it. You know, that I was a
yeah,
pediatric nurse for years, and people always say, "Oh, how can you do that? I can't see sick kids." I said, "Because I love them and I want them
yeah,
to have the best care possible, and I know I will do that." So that was my
mhm,
prayer every morning. You know,
yeah,
that's how you do it. You do it
yeah.
because,
Actually, it's true. You can only do what you can do at the moment. If I could comfort a child, I was already. It was one thing I could do. If I could comfort the grandmother, it was one thing I could do. But
sure.
it's so hard to go against. And I got fired. I got fired at that job.
Wow.
Because they said you care too much for the grandmother and the child, you're attached.
And
You're not
because you have
allowed
a
to
heart. That's
be.
some shit.
That's yeah.
Yeah, you weren't
You
evil
cannot
enough.
bond.
You
Mm.
weren't evil enough for the system.
Yeah, because I know when I bond with children, they open up. You know what they can do. They trust you. Everything works out. But if you're not allowed to bond with the children, it's very difficult to work with children.
Yeah.
Mm. Even when I was teacher in US in Fort Plain, that was very nice, and
Really?
Fort Lee?
Yeah, but for almost volunteer, but that was okay for me. So I never, I always ask the children, what do you want to learn? Always.
Yeah,
And from that part, I started always. It was so much fun.
beautiful. So did you say Fort Lee?
Fort Plain, where Nick lives.
Where Melissa also lives. She lives in
Fort Plain?
Yeah,
Melissa, she lives there?
yeah,
Oh,
Oh
Melissa
my
she's
lives.
God.
in Fort Lee, but I think Christine is saying, spell it, Christine. I think
Oh,
you're saying something.
wacht, Fort and then Plain.
Fort Plain.
Fort,
Ah, okay.
yes.
Is that New Jersey as well, though?
No, it was a private school. It was actually because I'm doing yoga, and the major thing we wanted to teach the children was to meditate, was the basic. And then we did the curriculum, what we have to do, otherwise the school was not, didn't count. So, but that was actually very nice for the children. A big playground, and yeah, it was nice.
So I
So
didn't
that was,
realize you lived in the States. How long did you live in the
yeah,
States?
5 years.
Okay.
And then my visum, I didn't get another visum. I couldn't get another visum.
Ah,
But actually, yes, I came back in end December 2017.
okay.
And yeah, 2017. Yes, 2017. So I'm 2 years actually back in Belgium.
I
But just
see.
yeah.
And you visited since then, right? Because I think you were here last year before the lockdown
Oh
happened.
yeah, I visit some children. I thought I missed them
Oh,
actually very much, and sometimes I Skype with them. It's really nice. But now they're home, so yeah, and
that's beautiful.
yeah, it's very nice. And the children that trust you, if you have bond, because you bond, you're all the time with them, morning,
So,
all the time. So you're kind of bit the second mom or auntie, but they always say, "Hi, auntie. Hi, auntie." We didn't say teacher. Say, "No, I'm your auntie." So that's the name we
okay.
use. So yeah,
That's
that's nice.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And that is and that is actually what we try to teach. I mean, if the parents and the adults, we say everybody is a brother or sister for us, all of them, and for the small children, say auntie and uncle, and children, yeah, we are sisters and brothers. That's so the terms we use. So to give confidence, to spread confidence. Of course, you cannot do that everywhere. But children were very good in meditation. We didn't do it long because they need to move and they need to play.
yeah.
But like 15 minutes, they could do it. They could do it. And they were inspired. So I learned more from the children than they from me, I think, because wow, what they could say. And they
Yeah.
knew how to play me, of course, because yeah, they knew very well how to play me.
Yeah. And, you know, talking about the meditation, I feel like we are born in the phone call. We are born knowing how to meditate, how to be contemplative.
Yes.
You know, babies will lay and just stare and think and feel.
Yes.
If they're well taken care of, babies that aren't
Yes.
screaming on all the time in misery, you know. So, and I remember as a kid, I used to like to just sit and stare and breathe and think
Yeah.
sometimes, and people would go, "What are you staring at?" I quit doing it out of
Yeah.
social conditioning, like, "You
Yeah.
weirdo, are you stupid?"
Yeah,
Sitting there with
no.
a blank look on your face, you know. So I actually remember that, and
Yeah.
have had to relearn it as an adult, as a much older
Yeah.
adult now, you know.
I remember a friend, and she could remember a lot when she still was a baby, and she heard the adults talking, but she understood. And then they were talking to her like, and she said, "How are you?" She thought in herself, "Oh, you're so stupid. I understand you, but I just cannot explain it. It was so stupid."
Yeah.
But
So,
experience I
no,
had with that.
yeah,
I was in
yes,
court mandated therapy for my child,
yes,
and I was told that exactly what you were doing was a mental illness called disassociating, and they tried to medicate me for it.
oh my gosh, oh, yeah, no,
Well, there
yeah,
are medications for dissociation. they say that they're for dissociation. They're experimental, and
All
they're
medications
also
are
taught the course
experimental.
so that we're going to have a
But
harder time.
see,
Mhm.
labeling it dissociation when we would call it meditation when it's purposeful
Mhm.
to the mind, that's,
Yeah.
you know, dissociation is an escape technique when you're being tortured, physically or
Yeah.
sexually abused. Your mind can't handle it and goes elsewhere, dissociates from the situation. That's different than purposely bringing your mind to peace with meditation. So for the
Yeah.
system
Yeah.
to do
They
that,
wouldn't hear.
that's
They
their
wouldn't
evil
hear.
genius, dude. That's
Yeah.
tough.
And I also believe it's extremely important because through meditation you are protected also. I mean, that's the experience we have, of I have also. You're protected through meditation because actually you reach a high level from vibrations, and if you're really on the high level from vibrations, the evil cannot get you there. So you're invisible for them. I mean, that's what our guru says. If you really deep meditate, and you should do that with your children if you can, and they do it, of course, 10 minutes is enough because they need to move and they need to play. They are
Yeah.
more easily protected. You can protect them. Even in very dangerous environments, they seem to be invisible. That's how she explained it to
Yeah.
us. And I believe that.
I
Most
used to
they
do it. I
are.
mean, I grew up. That's how I saved my sanity,
Oh,
was
yeah.
meditation and dissociation. And I learned that at a very young age. So I've carried it throughout my adulthood. I've taught it to my children. I mean, it's always been a healthy practice for me. But the fact that they tried to negate the fact that I was helping myself and medicate me for something I knew I was doing right
Mm-hmm.
Oh no,
was
they won't have
freaking
any of that.
huge. No,
Because
and they made it
They
very
were
clear.
trying to
They
just
made it
tear you
very
down, yeah, and bring you back to the nothing. The
Yeah.
who is on psych meds, seriously, that doesn't become numbed out from their own feelings. It's not dealing
Yeah.
with yourself, it's running away from yourself. Those meds, all of them, I say all
Yeah,
of
it's
them,
true.
you know, and then you've got the physical issues that come from taking them, all the side effects, which always includes worsening depression
Yeah.
and suicide. They have to put that in there
Yeah.
because it's
And
true.
also, yeah, it's a lot of
That's the
meditation that blocks.
a lot of what they give you, the side effects are worse than the medication. So
Yes.
you're taking the pill and you're getting a side
For
effect.
depression, they give you a medication that says on depression, the side effects can be suicidal. See, what you're giving for depression, something that even boosts the desire to do suicide. It's crazy. No, and
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
so
That's what happened to my therapist.
my
That's
son was
exactly what happened.
interesting. My son that passed away in 2012, he was 32. He was a paranoid schizophrenic bipolar. Those were his labels from the psychiatric
yeah.
community. He saw vampires everywhere he went. He saw vampires and he literally thought he was going to get the blood sucked out right there. It wasn't no joke. He thought I was a vampire sometimes. I gave him birth, you know. So he tried all these different meds. They kept changing his meds and he would have the terrible side effects. He was driving he was an EMT driving, you know, an ambulance, and the medication he was on, suddenly his head would go straight up like that, and sometimes an arm while he's freaking driving, you know. So it was totally untenable. He had to take tons of Benadryl to tamp that down, and he told me how much he was taking, when like 30 pills a day. I said, you are killing your liver. You have to get off of that now. You know, so they kept having to try different medicines, and they had to go back to the old tricyclic drugs like from the 50s, and that's what causes extra pyramidal side effects, like what I'm talking about, the stiffening. He would pee his pants sometimes on some of the other ones uncontrollably. I mean, these are terrible side effects.
Yeah, that's really terrible side effects. That makes you totally paranoid and schizophrenia. I mean,
So,
Well,
yeah,
the
so
whole
yeah.
taking
industry,
it for depression, I would
people,
beg people not to do that. There's so many
Mm.
better ways
the
I
whole
have a
than
friend.
their
people,
big pharma killer drugs. There's so
I
many
have a
better
friend
ways.
who
Just
met the love of her
exercising,
life.
sunshine, screaming,
Mhm.
yelling, tearing things up, whatever you can do
Yeah.
for outlets, thought
Yeah.
thought
Yeah,
therapy,
vibrations.
not
Yeah.
chemical
Yeah.
therapy.
Mm. Yeah. And
Nature
you
I have
and
a
can, yeah, there
friend
is,
cannabis, right?
yeah.
that got married, fell in love with a German man, and they were happy for well over 10 years. And he had a small problem with depression, and so they prescribed him an antidepressant. And one evening after they'd had a lovely dinner out, they came home. They sat down on the couch, turned on the television to unwind, and he just got up, walked upstairs, and killed himself. Just like that.
Oh my God.
And they were
Oh my
perfectly
God.
happy.
Oh my God.
That's one of those nightmare cases that you hear about with the suicidal tendency side effect of the antidepressant that he was on.
Crazy.
So these things happen. They do.
Yeah, they do.
well, they're meant to happen.
Yeah.
They're intended to happen. The whole industry, including the psychological, protocol, is, in my opinion, complete bullshit. I
Mhm.
believe that it was even invented to cover up the fact that some people were not going to have their pineal glands completely calcified like they
Yeah,
should.
probably. Yeah.
And so they
Totally. I
get
believe
through.
that.
And
Yeah.
when you're with schizophrenia, I have a friend whose son was diagnosed. They're diagnosed around the same age. I'm still completely convinced it's heavy metal
Yeah.
toxicity.
Mhm.
That certain parts of the brain compensate for the damage of other parts, and by the time they're 18, they are seeing vampires because there are dimensions of that lower frequency that
Yeah, they
see
are.
now
They,
because
they do exist. It's not a
compensated
fantasy.
Right.
for the damage or
Yeah.
the frontal lobe.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, all of us are severely
Yeah.
vaccine damaged. That's
Yeah.
a
You
sad
got
but true
actually.
fact.
Yeah.
When you
You got
look at
thrown
the
in that
behavior of the
yeah. Sorry.
cabal, when you
Yeah.
look at their methods, their behavior, their decisions, they fucking start wars just to increase their power. I'm convinced that there is a non-human power behind these people.
Sure.
How else do
Yeah.
you explain it?
They
You
aren't
know?
like us. That's for
They're not
sure.
like us.
They aren't not like us. I
I
wanted to
don't
say
know.
one more thing
No,
about
and there's aspects about us here on Earth that is very different from one another too. I think we're starting to understand. Like I was talking about our DNA connections yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
day before.
Mm-hmm.
My high school friend, who I hadn't even met my kid's dad. I haven't even left the country when I met her in high school, and come back and find out she's most likely related to my kids.
Right.
That DNA connection. But we also, I think, myself, because I was born half a mile from White Sands Missile Range, and I look like an alien sometimes. I know I've got some blood in me from different races. I think differently. I react differently, but I also know I have a little bit of human in me. So I think we're all just coming to terms with the actual mix-up of what's going on, the possibilities of the different sources of this, what we call deoxyribonucleic acid. What exactly does that mean, and how are we connected by all that? And some of it's we're not ready to hear it because we're on a rampage now against the reptilians. And I'm sorry, folks, we may find out that your great 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 uncle on your mom's side was a freaking lizard. Okay, so don't be surprised when that comes up as we try to continue this duality. Okay, them and us. Sorry, it's us and ourselves. That's what we're down to now. And if the big dog reptilians have done what they've done, then we contributed to that, and we most likely are related to these people.
Yeah.
On some level. So
I wanted
that's just a
to
little
just
far-fetched. That's not
Beaufont
really
saying, are you
what I
familiar
believe,
with
but
the
that's definitely
Superfund cleanup site in
possibilities that float
Pearland?
through my
Pearland
mind,
is a
is that
small
we
town
really are just at the tip of
south
the
of
iceberg.
Houston. Yes, I
And to
am,
even
from the 80s.
consider sitting back and thinking we know who we are,
Talking at the same
and we
time,
know
I'm
who other
sorry.
people are, and we know why we don't like them, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your precious soul frequency vibration on this planet right now, because that's not the intention.
So, Lori, you were saying you were replying to Beaufont's comment.
Yeah, I am familiar with that.
Yeah.
In fact, when I was in high school, I
Is she still
graduated
on? 'Cause
high school in
I think I'm live. Are
Can
you
you hear her,
guys hearing me?
Ollie?
2017. We used to go out there.
Do you
It
hear
was
me?
called the pits, I
I
think.
can hear you.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
says I'm live, but I'm not on the
tar
green
pit,
screen.
the sand pits.
I know, and
And
it
we
seems
would
like
go, that was the makeout spot.
Lori's
Like
battery died
there was
too.
sand there.
I charged my battery last night.
I don't know if anyone's hearing me. I don't know.
So I was on.
I hear you. I hear both of you.
But yeah,
Okay.
what were we talking? Well, we were talking about babies earlier.
I'm going to go
Well,
ahead
can
and
we
get
talk
off and
about one
keep
thing at a time?
listening. I love you
love to
guys.
talk
I
about
did want to
babies
say one more
because
my
that
son
is the root
that
of all of our
died, he
problems.
died because
We
of psych
torture
meds.
babies for a
Because
year.
he had a fatal
And then
interaction because he went on
and then
Flexeril
we
for
put him out in the
carpal
world
tunnel,
and
died
say,
1
the
week
world's
later.
broken.
Stay off the meds,
But
you guys. I
actually,
love
every
you.
single decision you
See
make
you
from the time you
later.
conceive
Bye,
I love
Lori.
you, Lori.
that little human is going to affect him. And unfortunately, every decision that we are encouraged to make by the medical profession is permanently damaging. We're
Yeah.
I think Tiana was saying, we talk to them like babies, when the truth is they should be able to completely have different houses in their brain for at least 5 different languages by the time they reach 1. They are a
Definitely.
blank hard drive, unlike anything that nature has ever seen. But yet,
Definitely.
Dr. Spock was put in place in the 60s to make sure they were fully vaccinated, and that their entire working, functioning sexual entire organ. People don't realize the foreskin is an organ. It's not a piece of skin. It's an entire organ that has 70% of the circulatory and neural tissues. So you're removing 70% of the organ's circulatory and neural tissues and all of the nerves that connect to the brain. So hence the joke, he thinks with his penis, not with his brain, because there's no neural connection
And
left.
is that also why men are slightly more
we turn our
feminized now?
boys over the river for that. We hand them off in their little blanket before they even drink milk from me. No, that is something that
I don't know, but I
rewires the
suspect
brain.
there's something there, Tiana, with
Well,
what
it
you
rewires
just
the
said.
brain. You have a brand new
I
baby
think so
brain when that
too.
boy comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, that
One
makes
that will
sense.
never ever trust anything or anyone again. He's going to connect his sexual reproduction life to pain and torture.
Yeah.
And babies are so amazing and so psychic at the time they come out. He's probably connecting this whole thing to his mother too. So good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Good luck convincing your son to go get married and have a happy life, because he hates you. And he thinks
I love my
women cut off
parents. I love
penises.
my parents, but I don't think I'll ever get over the fact that I had a part of me removed at birth, and I had no fucking say in it whatsoever.
It's barbaric, Jonathan.
It
and
is.
Yes.
The good news is there are recovery techniques, there are restorative protocols that actually work. This is
Really?
the other thing that's been denied. And the other thing
Yeah.
is too,
This is the wonderful thing about nature and spirit, is that we can, for everything that we fuck up, there's potentially out there a remedy.
Isn't it not?
I love that.
That's a good
Tell me more about that. I want to hear about that.
Well,
Ollie.
yes, you can Google it. It's very simple, restorative. At the end of the day,
I'll look that up.
It depends on, like, a lot of people. My friend's doctor, and this is odd, she's a Saudi female. Now, the Arabs amputate eggplant like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And guess why the Arab Muslims do it? Guess why they do it? The only reason they've ever been able to come with, because it's not in the Quran. If it's in the Quran or the Bible, it's mentioned in some other way. Originally, there was some, you know what I think of religion, but way back somewhere, some bush spoke to a Hebrewite or something and said something about, like, if you nick a part of your body that nobody else can see but me, then I'll know you're a Jew. Okay, so put a little nick in the tip of your penis because you don't want to show that to anybody. Okay, so first of all, it's bullshit. They weren't talking about things like that back then. They were naked. they were not into the lower frequencies of our sexuality being dirty. First of all, okay, they weren't. So it was a V-shaped nick in the tip of the foreskin is how this started. Now the Satanist baby blood drinking torturers that want to remove our connection to our brain, to our sex.
Yeah.
They pull that force. I've seen it. They pull it all the way out like a sock and
Oh
cut
my
it off.
God.
Okay, then you end up with
Yeah.
premature ejaculation. You end up with
Yeah.
erectile disorder. You end up with penises that curve to the left and the right and up and down, and it's,
Wow.
because the foreskin is too tight for the organ. Also, 2 to 3 inches of your penis can be shoved back in your body for the rest of your life.
Mm.
And I
So
think
the
it
actual
has something
foreskin
to do with
itself
the
is quite
feminization.
stretchy. So
I
you
really
can put
do.
a plastic restoring thing on there. You actually wear it. They say it's not too bad for a few weeks. And it stretches it out enough to release at least the organ from inside your body.
Mm.
And to give a little bit
Oh my God.
of leeway there for you to function as a man. I mean, when you really get down to why they did this, it was to completely disable an entire civilization. And how
Thanks
they
for
did that,
telling me
you
about
just
this, because I had no idea that there were restorative
No.
techniques out there and people were actually working on this stuff. That's great.
No.
Yes, and there's
Me
creams.
neither.
You notice it's very stretchy. We can stretch our. They do everything that is related to this. The lip stretching in Africa, they're called sexually mutilating rituals. Every culture has one. Guess what else?
Yeah.
Who perpetuates sexually mutilating rituals in every single culture? Who?
Men,
Not the men.
Yeah,
Okay.
men. Most of it.
Not the men.
not the men.
Women are
What?
the ones that make sure that the rusty blade midwife comes and takes her 7-year-old daughter out of the front yard from playing with her girls, with her friends, and amputates her entire genitalia with a rusty blade. It's the females it's these mothers on Facebook that say, "Oh, my baby ain't having no turtleneck. I'm cutting my boy's dick off." Okay, well, go ahead. Because you don't even know what you're doing, and you may now officially consider yourself part of the problem, part of the torture culture, and your son will never have a normal sexual relationship.
But that's a
He
low
could have had.
consciousness.
Not that
That's
we
a
don't
very
have
low
normal sexual
consciousness.
relationships if we're circumcised, but you don't enjoy your sexuality like you should have, and there was a reason they didn't want you to. Because through natural and real sexual energy, we heal. It's one of the biggest powers that we can generate.
It's the power of creation.
Yes.
Yeah, the power of creation. Yes.
So
actually,
please Google
we
it.
should
There
go
are
back.
even, naturopath doctors. My friend Dr. White is one. Restorative doctors. They will. There's all kinds of things that can help and relieve the tension. But as you know, many men are irreversibly damaged. At least weekly, there's a major mishap. There's a story, of course, the famous stories in the 60s and 70s of little boys that went in and they were using cauterizing guns back then. Now they crush the foreskin until it falls off. It's 10 minutes of crushing,
I'm not aware of.
pain
I'm
with
not
no
aware of those
anesthesia.
techniques in Europe. I cannot remember
babies
that
come back,
those
they won't latch
techniques
on.
are used in Europe
This is one of the
or
main
in
things. They want to
Belgium.
sexually torture that boy so he doesn't latch on to his mother's milk and bond with her chemically.
Then we should go back to midwives and the birth,
20-25 minutes.
childbirth at home.
You can be sure he's not going to latch on.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
Much
stick
better.
that Bill Gates formula in his mouth.
They don't allow it
our
anymore.
way. And
Sad.
then bring him in for his 2-month
Right.
shots.
Yeah.
And we got you. We got you by the short hairs.
In
Because we're
Europe
gonna
they
see you
do,
back in a few years for
and in Belgium they
behavior
do. We can
disorders
have childbirth
or
at home with
autistic
midwives.
autism symptoms,
Yeah.
or gut problems,
Yes.
constipation because his liver failed.
Mm.
My friend
And
vaccinated her baby.
The majority of
against
gut problems lead to autoimmune disorders. And so it just spirals out of control.
Yeah.
And
Actually, the
Our
old
dogs are
tradition in
dying because
India,
of
as I can
chihuahua
say,
groups. My
that
baby's having seizures.
can I
did
can
you
I
have the
say
shots
something,
yesterday?
Molly?
Block me because I mentioned vaccines on the dog group.
No.
Sure. I'm
Can I
not sure
say
if she can hear
something?
us.
I just
Holly,
wanted
can
to
you hear
add
us?
something.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah,
We're
I
just
just
checking.
want to say something. What I
Yeah,
learned
I
from
got kicked off my dog group
old
because I asked
traditions in
somebody
India,
who said their
the
dog was having a
child.
seizure in the floor. I said, "Did you give him his shots recently?" And she
Okay,
had.
I want to say
And I got
something.
kicked out of the group for being an
Okay.
No, I just want
insane
to say something.
anti-vaxxer.
No, a
Lunatic.
good
Okay, well then watch your dog seizure in the floor. I don't care. Dang.
doesn't work. Okay,
But
Go
no,
ahead.
I
Go
just
ahead,
want to
Christine.
say. Yeah. Okay.
no, I came
In
to
India,
Christine.
if you get born, you have the family
That's
and
right.
the women's. It's between the women from the
I
family,
can't
the
hear
old
Christine.
traditional way. Child gets born, and it stays with the parents 30 days, only with the parents to bond very, very well with the parents. And then it's protected by their. It recognizes the viruses and all the things that build up between parents, makes the child more stronger. The bond is very strong, and after 1 month, other family members can join. Actually, the first month is actually only the child, the child, and the parents, and other children if there are other children. And
Can
the
you hear
bond is
anybody
very. I
talk?
mean,
I can only see you.
you can only
Really?
see me.
Yeah, I thought you and I were the only ones on, and I'm over talking everybody, aren't I?
Ah, that's why we were telling you. Why
Okay.
does she
I'm
doesn't?
like
Okay.
interrupting like mad over here because I only see you.
Okay. And
Where's
yeah,
Gerard
but
when you need him?
no,
Huh?
I just want.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he's
just
falling
want.
down.
Yeah, I just
Gerard's up
wanted to
making
say the
coffee.
bonding is most
Okay, yeah.
important for the
We're getting this
safetyness
done. Don't worry.
and for the protection,
Hey,
and
I'm
that's
glad
an
you brought
old
up that
traditional
topic,
way.
Jonathan.
And the other thing
In my
is,
opinion, only real men talk about it. Only real men refuse to have their sons amputated when they've had it done to themselves. These are the men that are going to change it for us. So,
I'm not finished.
it's a terrible, terrible topic. It really is. But it's one of my obsessions because
It's a fascinating topic, and one that matters a lot to a lot of people.
I think it's the absolutely first step we have to take. We
Yeah.
can't
What?
grow men
What's the
who
first
care
step?
about anything when we do that.
The black magicians, the cabal, have been targeting human sexuality for thousands of years.
Why is it their business? Gross.
Because sexuality is the power of creation. And it's also, when used rightly, the power of transcendence, of understanding, of spiritual development, when that energy is used in a different way.
Okay,
Well, you can pull it straight up out your crown chakra and manifest.
Yeah, that's how artists create.
Yeah, but it's also if they use it in
it's manifestational. It has actually, it boosts your manifestational abilities.
Yes. Yes, it does.
And they're very afraid of that.
Yeah.
In fact, we're all talking about manifestation. It's not, you're not really manifesting unless you're using all your chakras.
They are afraid of anything natural. They have to twist everything. Every part of human life has to be twisted. Go ahead, Christine.
No, I just want to finish this. In India, the children in the Ayurvedic system, they get every day a massage with oil to strengthen the immune system and the body and the bonding with the earth, Mother Earth, because oil and touching, the sensual touch is very important. And that gives a tremendous feeling of safety. And they do it till they're 3 years old. Every day, mother or father who has time to massage the kid, hold the kid, the body with oil, the hair, everything. And I did it also because I was in India, and it's so much fun if you can massage babies, and they love it, they enjoy it. It's so much fun. And I know kids who are brought up by that, because in our way of meditation, that's a very important thing to take care. Also on the health from the children. And so we gave them actually in school also, if they needed, massage. So every 2 days I gave the children massage too. Body massage. So, and they love it very much. They enjoy it, and they make jokes, and we laugh. It's really, and you exchange your energy. So, and So they do it normally till 3 years, but you can do it till 6 years. And it gives a
Yeah.
very strong feeling of safety. So these
Right.
old methods is actually a very good protection, and it gives security, a deep, a strong inner security. And also for later, when you start dating or you feel attracted to the other sex, then you're more you're not so much craving for body contact, because you had actually a lot of body contact during the first 6 years, and also the people hug a lot. So you're more selective in choosing the right partner.
Mhm.
It makes a difference.
Right.
But that's
Well,
it's a whole system. Yeah. And
the other, and the other part of it is the elites know that if a trauma is administered to a child,
I was just going to say that.
their agenda is like just opened up. The field is wide for them, because all of their programs are based on trauma and its effects. That's why they have gone out of their way to create situations within the system that will create trauma at all levels, because it leads to situations and problems and suffering that create dependent, sick people.
It's true.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
It's just like when you program your computer to go to your desktop first, or what. I don't understand what I'm talking about when I say things like that. But it's similar.
Yeah.
That's where I would like to go back to I'm sorry, I don't know your name on the bottom.
Jonathan.
No, the woman.
Oh, Holly.
Holly. That's where
Holly?
I would kind of like to go back to what you were saying about not being fully human, because what he's saying is 100%. 100% right. But I feel like there are exemptions.
Yes.
Because I grew up tortured. I grew up drugged. I grew up with what should have been a completely shut pineal gland. I don't feel like that was ever an issue for me, though. I mean, I feel like I've always known, and I've always coped. I've always been okay regardless. I've always seen what was. No matter how many drugs they gave me or how much torture there was going on, I was always fully aware. So, so hearing her say that was like validation for me. You know, like no matter what they did, they didn't shut that eye. And I a long time felt that couldn't have been just my pure will from a human being not wanting to be broken.
It's your inner strength.
Well, I feel like it goes beyond that, because it's not strength I ever had. I mean, it didn't come from me.
Right.
If you can understand what I'm saying.
You know,
I don't feel like it was ever anything I did.
Concerning the pineal, there's a lot of research and literature out there by us about it. And, you know, especially in terms of calcification and blocking, you know, communication that we receive through the pineal. My intuition tells me that if we first make the decision to consciously break with the system, no matter how bad our DNA is fucked up, no matter how bad our pineal gland is calcified, nature begins working in our favor.
Always.
And it is a consequence of a conscious choice by us to move away from this system, a conscious choice to change.
Wow.
Because intuition is powerful, and it's telling us the truth, because when we make that conscious choice, our whole trajectory changes, our whole energy changes. We have tremendous power And that power resides in our power to choose a different direction for ourselves. And it's available to us at any time. Yeah, it takes some preparation. And usually what gets us there is suffering, is pain.
Like First Lady
That's usually
Reagan
what
said,
takes us to that
no.
point. Yeah.
Just say no.
That's
It's
fascinating.
harder to it's harder than it seems to say no, especially when you're a new mother, you've just given birth, or if it's your first child and you happen to be in the hospital alone. Now, don't think this
Okay, I want to
coronavirus
go,
and the
Gerard. I
accident
have to
delivery
go.
room
I
is
have
not
to. I have
completely
to lead
intentional.
meditation, so
Yeah,
you
I
can
gotta go
take me
too.
off.
That's blocking a chemical bond, and it's leaving the mother scared, so that those pheromones or those neurochemicals go into the baby's blood during the labor.
Yeah.
And they make sure that the whole hard drive platform infrastructure is based on trauma, even pre-birth. These amniocentesis tests are traumatizing to the infant. The ultrasounds are very invasive to the infant. The frequencies, the whole thing about when you get to the hospital fast. Oh my God! And everybody's so upset and everybody's so nervous, compared to a warm bath with candles and binaural beats playing and the people you love there to touch hands on the baby first and bond that chemical bond. But no, they drag that kid to the nursery and they scrub him with a freaking brush and make him scream. You don't hear that part. They scrub
There is
that
no
vernix
fucking
off his
comparison.
head. Because the vernix is there for a reason. It's supposed to absorb into the skin. It becomes our skin's barrier. It's a powerful thing, the vernix. They scrub it off. It's like scrubbing candle wax off your baby's skin. I didn't even bathe my kids for a week.
Right.
They were born in the water. I would let my husband hand them to me in the bathtub and swish their little butt around. I'd swish their butt around in a bucket, but they weren't scrubbed and soaped up for probably a month. My kids have had shampoo on their hair like 8 times in their lives.
The obsession with germs is really gotten to the point where it's just comic. It's so ridiculous and so completely beyond reason.
Well, it is a cartoon. Find me a virus that has ever been depicted as anything but a cartoon.
That's why I want to say.
That's your job.
Yeah, true. Absolutely. Tiana, what were you going to say?
Well, I have my son is he has no immune system.
Yeah.
Because of the joke. So the fact that they push the vaccines on him and they push the antibiotic soap on him, and
I want to see Christine.
It blows
I'm
my
happy
brain.
to be on here with Christine. Christine's like a famous person for me. I don't know why. I've just seen her a couple times, but like she's like some powerful astrology energy, and I love her frequency, and I'm just excited to be on here with her this morning.
Yeah, Christine and Susan's astrology lives, God, they're amazing, really. Such wonderful, useful, terrific knowledge they pass. I mean, it's great. Yeah,
I know
for sure. Yeah. Had you talked with Christine before, Holly?
Well, no, I watch her comments on here. You know, I've just kind of hopped on a few times with the live.
Right.
Live, everything she says is really like on point, and I also pick up a lot. She's very empathic. You know, I feel that she's like in tune, and she's like some of my comments. You know, so
yeah.
You know, and obviously just
she did my natal chart a while back, and yeah, it was great. Learned a lot, and it's wonderful just talking with her one-on-one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Anybody wants to jump in? We got a slot.
Yeah, come on, you guys. Let's make
which, by the way, you guys, when you're in the lobby, you can still talk, so your mics are on. So
somebody said I need to refresh. How do I refresh? Because I'm not on the screen.
Your Holly, you might try going out and going back in again.
How do I do that?
Just hit. You should have an X button that you can click, and it'll take you out.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, but when you're in the lobby, you guys can talk. So, you know, you can only have 4 videos up at once.
Gotcha.
I'm waiting for Jasmine to come in. Jasmine does videos. She can come up here. Oh, fine. Also, he's being shy. I think
Hero, blast off.
How is there two of you?
Now there are. Yeah, there's two of you now.
Well, one's enough. Maybe we should.
Can you hear all of us now? Can you hear and see all of us?
Yes, I can.
Great. Okay, good.
Ooh, didn't Christ say she was going to come on yesterday? Isn't that what she said?
Yes, I heard it.
Christ Henderson. Yeah, she's trying to put Courtney on.
I
could've
think
swore-
Christ has been hiding from us. I don't think she exists. I think she's just an avatar.
I agree with you. She's AI. She's total AI. She is
Hey, y'all know
CIA
you can put a mask on. You don't have to go with your face. We don't mind if you have something to say. I know I've been in situations where I didn't want to go public for good reasons.
Yeah.
So if you have something to say, put a mask. Let me rephrase that.
Speaking of, can I really quick say something? Did anybody see a video by Luis Monsiváis? They've got Facebookers that come out and on platforms like this and talk. There's a whole FBI list. It's on my page if you check it. Yeah. They've got CIA, FBI, and somebody else. But they've got a list of people that they're watching on Facebook.
I hope they're watching me. They better be watching. If they
Well, you
ain't
know what I have to
watching me,
say,
then I'm
Probably all of us are on it.
You know what I
I
have to
better
say.
be on that list.
I'm not
I'm offended.
Take it as a point of pride, Gerard.
I better be. I pay my damn taxes. I come out here trying to talk to people all the damn time. I better be on that list.
That's right.
I have a friend in Homeland Security. He said, well, we're all on lists, and everybody here, we're on the list too. I said, okay, well, that's good. He said, you don't want to be on the wrong list. I said, no, I want to be on the wrong list. I said, no, these people they're dropping bombs on babies. The #1 business is human trafficking. You got Sister Tiana, ain't nobody investigating this. You got the NSA, they see everything, they hear every rape, they hear all the nonsense that's happening, stealing children. No, I better be on their list. I better be at the top of the list, Jonathan. Top of the list.
That's what I said. Me too.
I'm doing something wrong. Put me on that list. I tell you what, when you got demons running the show, and I'm not talking about the majority of people in the CIA and Homeland Security, they're all good people. They're just our neighbors and cousins and friends and pastors and stuff, but the people at the top are psychopathic, demonic, human pedo trafficking, bombing, slavery, mass incarceration bastards. I better be at the top of that list. If I'm not, then I'm doing something wrong. Right? I'm sorry I had to do that.
That was beautiful.
I'm waiting for Riley's going to take my spot so I can go sit back and let intelligence talk.
Yay.
I had to find out which profile she is. She running from everybody. She running from the CIA, the FBI, Homeland Security.
They all want Riley.
Everybody trying to get that.
You know what I tell
them?
them? I tell them I am the CIA.
And nobody would know. That's the funny part. Is if you were in the CIA, nobody else in the CIA would even know. They'd just be like, "Oh, okay, what division are you?" They would have no idea. You can make something up, and because it's all decompartmentalized. Like you meet someone in the CIA. I'm in Department 7-2. 7-2. Oh wow, okay. Never even heard of that one. Okay, brother.
I'm so gonna use that.
Just make something up.
So gonna use that.
I make stuff up all the time. I figured they made stuff up. I can make stuff up too.
So the next time I get pulled over for carrying my signs, that's what I'm saying. Leave me alone. I'm CIA.
Oh, listen, hey, just go on and say they wouldn't. The police would have no idea. Yeah, they would have no idea. That's the great thing about having a police state. Nobody knows.
Yes. Yes.
No one knows anybody. I could say I was Kanye West, and half of them be like, "Oh, damn it, okay, are you?" Yeah, I'm like, MAGA man, let me out of here.
Yeah.
We can't even tell each other apart. So come on, all the white people look like that's just real. And all the white people look like. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says.
I infiltrate the infiltrators' infiltrators.
It's the end of the world, people. How in the world can you not have fun? Aliens about to come out the sky. Bigfoot.
I can't freaking wait.
Mothra. Enjoy. It's the end of the world. I don't know why anybody's still scared. I didn't want to be on the list. Are you kidding me? You know that the NSA is sitting home on lockdown too with the FBI and CIA. They pissed off too. They're pissed off. And now, if you're gonna speak up, now is the time.
Yes, sir.
If you're gonna act up, you act up when the babysitter leaves the room. That's when you act up. You act up when mama got to go to the store. That's when you're ready to cook.
Yes.
Riley's having trouble pushing the button. I think I got the right profile. She has like 8 names on here. That woman is running for mayor. She might even be.
She's mostly on the rainbow profile.
Oh yeah.
The picture that's rainbow looking.
I sent it to the one that was on here. Maybe she's down with the app. I don't know.
Riley's
So
going to
this is a
come
nice
on with
way to
that
kind of filter through our
tinfoil
coworkers
mask
and
she
find
wears.
out who's real and who's not.
Did you see the one where she was in the burqa?
No.
That was hysterical. That was a freaking good one. Yeah,
Great.
it was a good one.
I got myself a tinfoil Stetson hat that I wear sometimes. Yeah. I'll
That's
post the
freaking
picture. Yeah.
awesome. That's too funny.
All right. Riley is CIA.
Right?
If she is, we're all fucked. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Tiana, how old is your son?
I was smoking pot on a live. Ha ha. He's 12.
He's 12. Okay. So he's not that. Yeah.
No, I mean it's a miracle he's even still alive at 12. Shit.
Yeah.
But the fact that they've immunized him and they use all these, what is it? I can't even think of the shit. The hand sanitizer shit. I mean, he has no immune system. To my logic, to my brain, that's so dangerous. That's
Sure it is.
what the fuck are you doing?
Well,
yeah. So the fact that they want to mandate me to be fully immunized to go see this child with no, it's
Yeah.
such a mind fuck. I mean,
It is. It is.
I
And
feel like
it's
he's killing you.
it's to get everyone to participate in the system. It is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's just
I deal
medically
with
torture this child just because.
yeah. I deal with
That's so
with psoriasis, you know, so I have autoimmune issues, and you know what Holly said about, you know, the consequences of circumcision affecting all of these different, you know, body functions. I live in an agricultural area, and you know, they spray Roundup on the fields constantly.
Right.
So I know that's a factor as well. You know, that shit is everywhere now. There aren't any places that don't have Roundup anymore.
Not just Roundup, but the shit they're spraying from the air.
Yeah.
The shit that's on your food and in your food. We're attacked from every level. Everything you consume, they have poison in it.
You know,
everything.
I mean,
even your organic food, because they've sprayed the fuck out of it.
It is. You know, unless you build your own greenhouse and you control strictly what goes into it, you filter the water.
Unless you're growing it yourself, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
And in fact, I'm feeling the shit out of it now. I live less than a block from these fucking death towers. And I live right next to a fucking airport. So I'm being sprayed like a motherfucker. I'm being microwaved like a motherfucker. So I'm having, and I've been smoking for 40 years now. So I'm having the breathing issues and the fucking, I'm definitely feeling it. I'm just
yeah,
miserable right now, but it's to be expected. I wouldn't expect anything less. We're not living in a healthy, fucking loving, wonderful environment. They are trying to kill us, and they make it very fucking clear. They're not hiding it anymore. They're not even trying to fucking hide it.
Right. No, they don't.
That's why
they don't
I don't
need
get
to.
it.
They don't need to, because the sheep will make up stories themselves to maintain the law.
Right? What
because
the fuck?
they don't want to wake up. They just don't. It feels
so
too
you'd rather
comfortable.
be poisoned and dead. You'd rather die.
Yeah, apparently they would.
And you'd rather put your kids through that too. Apparently they would.
It's like, where do you people draw the line here? You know? It's insane.
Tiana, I had an incident with CPS 3 years ago after I got back from the abduction and child trafficking exposure incident. My children were finally returned to me 11 months later. And when my daughter got back, I tried to put her into some counseling, some art and music therapy, because I'm a PTSD specialist. So she'd also been to the pediatrician, and I told him about the trauma. We all have complex PTSD. She said, well, what are you doing? I said, we're going to start music and art therapy. We're on CBD. We're good. She said, well, I don't see any need to prescribe any medication. I even had to ask her. I said, can you give me a mild anti-anxiety as needed? Because we've had some episodes, and, long story short, I never had to use it. But I mean, I had to ask her for that. So then we proceed with the counseling. And as it turns out, another thing that happened to me after I got back from Saudi is I pretty much got dropped face to face with the corruption in my hometown here, including the police. And so I already, had some issues, and I had gotten a police officer in trouble, or I at least gotten him some training. Well, it turns out that this little girl that I sent my daughter to for counseling was his girlfriend. I didn't know that.
Wow.
And he was caught trafficking drugs in the back trunk of a state vehicle. So, but I didn't know this, and I of course I'm disabled at this stage. I'm sending my child to counseling because that's all I know to do, and it's about the only thing we could manage to get done was get her down there. They were all going, and at some point this she just graduated with her master's too. She's not even licensed to be involved with this kind of situation. But she started asking me if I'd taken her to the doctor and that she thought she needed an antidepressant and that she wanted me to take her. I said, look, my daughter has a pediatrician. I'm here.
Right.
I'm here with a master's degree counselor.
Yeah.
To get some art and music therapy. Back off. But that wasn't enough. And I didn't know the fact that she had this boyfriend that was vengeful. So my mistake was maybe to get my kid out right then and there. And the problem was my best friend is the director of Children in Need of Services, who connected me with this brand new employee that she just got. And she seemed real good and, excited, motivated. She just got out of college. So my friend told me, be sure and bring her down here. I've got you hooked up. She's a great music and art. So it ended up being a real bad situation because, of course, this counselor lost her job and her license. But what she did was she turned me into CPS for not putting my daughter on an antidepressant. The one that she was recommending has been taken off the market, by the way. Okay, so the next thing I know, me and my kids who are traumatized from being abducted and terrorized have a cop on my front door talking about you've been accused of abusing your children. Now my kids freaked out. They ran out the back door and jumped the neighbor's walls screaming, they're coming to get my mom again.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they tried to get in my house, and I said, no, you're not coming in my house. So Officer Diaz, and I don't have any problem saying his name on it, he went down and got a warrant. Well, I left the house. I went to my friend's house. I was triggered. Yeah. My kids were gone. My kids jumped the walls and went off with the neighbors, which fortunately during this whole time I've had very supportive friends and neighbors around me that have actually helped me with my kids. So
that's really important.
House, well, these clowns come back and manage to get in my house and talk to my kids. Now, another little side note, I have a medical cannabis card. I don't smoke around my kids. I mostly use oils and concentrates, and I have a CBD 50/50 CBD THC oil that I use. But I don't smoke around my kids. And but anyway, that conversation with my children turned into interrogating them about my medical cannabis and trying to, am I neglectful, etc.
Yeah.
So then there was a warrant from so then there was a court date for me to go, and I didn't go because, well, I have complex PTSD. I hadn't left the house in 3 months, so then my activist mind decided to push it, so long story short, this case is still in the courts.
Wow.
They came to the wrong mama's front porch. I've removed babies from homes myself with freaking cigarette burns on their inner thighs.
Wow.
Yeah, there are babies that are in closet. Guess what else about this CPS call that this woman made? She made it on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Guess when the officers showed up to my door? Sunday.
Thursday.
Sunday.
Next day.
4 days.
Wow.
Guess what can happen to a little kid who's being sodomized and guess what can happen to a child in 4 days?
In 84 hours or whatever it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Guess what I've
Yeah.
seen that has happened to children when you show up 4 days after a call is made.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I wasn't the woman who was potentially medically neglecting my kids. I was now the state's worst enemy because they're going to answer me. What the hell took you 4 days to get to my house?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, my kids were safe, but not everybody's are. So are you all full of shit? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So what ended up happening is I ended up petitioning to the state that I can't leave my house because of the trauma that was caused to me by my State Department, and now my local New Mexico officials have perpetuated it. So I can't leave my house. What are you going to do about it, State of New Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Because the reason that CPS was sent to my home is because I turned in a cop who was trafficking methamphetamine in his trunk. So now everything's out in the open, and I don't scare. I don't scare. I'm beyond that. Nobody can scare me. They tried to murder me and they failed. The universe didn't even let them.
Mm-hmm.
So now our CPS is under a real microscope right now. I've exposed 3 foster families that paid off $60,000 to get out of sexual molestation charges in my hometown.
Wow.
I'm on to you, foos.
Yeah.
And in this state in particular. But yeah, I worked for the state for many years. I'm a developmental specialist, so I've seen the abused babies, and I'm not putting up with this anymore. They're not going to harass people like me and Tiana while we let other babies die in their homes because we need adrenochrome.
Well, that was why they had started taking my kids, because I had started speaking out of what I remember my childhood to be.
Wow.
I hate to go. I got to get ready for class.
Thank you, Jonathan.
So, good talking with you both. Yeah.
Some good information
shared. Some really good information shared. All right. Take care, everyone.
You bet.
Have a great day.
You too.
So, did Riley fix her stuff yet?
There, and just keep talking because these people are being exposed.
Oh, I don't need help. I'm in a good place now. What I need is justice and accountability. That's what I need.
That's right, baby.
I need people to start taking responsibility for their fucking trauma-inducing psychotic behavior.
Absolutely.
I need systems to be broken down and started over. I need shit. I need change. That's fuck. I don't need help. I help myself. I've always helped myself. I need change. I need accountability. I need shit to stop being fucking corrupt. The corruption needs to end. Child legal kidnapping needs to end. Child torture needs to end. This is fucking insane. It's not a new thing. It's been going on for generations and generations and generations, and dumbass humans have just shut their fucking face to it. And it states enough. We've got generations of damaged children, generations of damaged adults. It's time to stop the damage. When do we do damage control? Somebody step in. Enough. It's just I feel I've screamed my whole life about it. I'm screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming, and nothing is changing. Nothing. People are just barely. Oh my God! Wow, is this really a thing? Fuck! Hello, it's been a thing. I'm a little bit frustrated. I'm a little bit sad that this is my key.
I know we're winning. When I was 20 years old, I took a job before I became a therapist at a big treatment center. I can't really name it at this point, although I think it's closed. And we were a team of 5 people that were basically the only people in the country that were deprogramming satanic ritual abuse survivors. And we did it for 3 years until the National Guard shut us down when we brought in the governor of Colorado's daughter, who was claiming to have been satanically ritually abused. We were surrounded by the National Guard, and they closed the facility. That happened to be the day that 2 days before I resigned. So I was driving down the road out of this facility. I had resigned, and I had just agreed, because my mother had harassed me for a year, to go overseas and stay with them and travel, because they were international school directors. I didn't want to. I was engaged. I had a new truck and a new dog, you know. But she finally convinced me to sell everything and go. So that was coincided with this shutdown of this facility. But we did it for 3 years. It was at the time that Roseanne Barr was coming out with her crazy stuff, and it was just. But we worked for 3 years with actual satanic ritual abuse survivors, and as a team, we tried to figure out how to deprogram them. I must say that we failed. I had patients. Most of my patients went home and suicided. They are so programmed, or they put them in situations. They'll put them in a grave with a dead body. They'll have the mother put the toddler in a grave for 2 weeks. They pump oxygen and leave a little water. And then they have the mother come and retrieve the infant. So that confusion is, did she put me in here? Did she rescue me? Is she my enemy? Is she my friend? So that it starts right there. So to deprogram that is incredibly complicated. And when you apply that to all of us, we've all been satanically ritually abused. All of us.
100%.
And so that's a foundation, that's an infrastructure of trauma that, it's my study. It's my study area. I've studied it, and I'm going to really pursue it now, because I have the worst case of complex PTSD I've ever witnessed, and I'm curing it. I'm
up there next to you, Hunter. I'm up there next to you. That's what I wanted to say. I feel like not 100% cured, but I'm on my way. I mean, it is possible. It's without their medications, without their therapies, without their fucking boot on your neck. It is possible. It is. I mean, yeah. I feel you.
Oh, I do too.
Congratulations to you for accomplishing that, because it's a motherfucking journey. It is not an easy fucking feat, let me tell you.
It took all I had in this lifetime. I almost gave up. I was suicidal twice in the past 4 years, attempted. I was hospitalized. But I still didn't take the drugs. And that was hard, because you know how hard it is to refuse a handful of drugs that's going to put you down for a few days so you can get out of it. So tempting.
Well, I would share an experience with you. My firstborn was stillborn at 13, and my other two were murdered by their father. So I ended up beating him with a baseball bat for 3 hours, and because I chose to do that, I was charged with attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon. And I was given a choice of, you can go to prison or you can go to a hospital. And I went to a hospital, and I was physically strapped to a bed and forced medication and forced electric shock therapy and raped by many fucking nurses. I mean, I've been through that fucking horror as well. So the fact that they've tried and 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 they keep trying and they keep trying and they keep trying. Fuck you. I mean, you just, I don't know how, and I don't know, but it's always been for me. It's not going to happen. You can drug me as much as you want. You can rape me as much as you want. You can take 8 children. You can kill 2 children. You can do whatever. It's not going to work, because I said so. Because I'm in control of me. Because I'm going to say who and when and how, and it's not up to you. And that's just, I've always...
Seeing is believing, and believing is seeing.
100%. So keep coming at it. Keep coming at me with it. Keep coming. You know what? Now I welcome it, because you only make me stronger, and you only make my will more solid, and you're only bringing on your own fucking wrath. So keep going, because I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of anything you can do. So keep trying. Keep trying, motherfuckers. No.
I think they're getting tired. I really do. I feel them exhausting.
Oh, good, because so am I. So am I. It's an exhausting fight, but you know what? It is doable. So for everybody out, it is
I think
possible
so
if you
too.
want.
I wouldn't have said that 2 years ago. I literally, like I said, I gave up in the physical world twice. But yeah, and right now it's like, hey, I think I just did this. I think I'm halfway normal.
Right?
I can leave the house. I was on lockdown in this room right here for 18 full months, and just the fear of being on the street that I'd be snagged, or just the general feeling that I was going to get murdered. And so I had to deal with that. I had to process that. And there was a moment in my kidnapping experience where I knew they were going to murder me. It was intercepted by people on the ground, and the guards got me my phone, and people were writing the White House, so they didn't. But there was a time when I knew they were coming in to murder me, or they were going to take me somewhere. And so I spent
Right.
2 days using my meditative abilities and my therapist training to prepare myself to die. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I did it. I got through the fear of being murdered, and that's the first time I was ever suicidal too, because I was planning, step by step how I could do it before they got in there.
On
And with
my
there
terms,
being
exactly.
time, you come up with ideas. And I feel like I'm stuck in that void in my mental neurological passages are kind of stuck there, that when it gets bad I got to check out. So that's another thing, you have to reroute that currency. I mean the current, you have to reroute it, because it sets firmly when the trauma happens. Is you want to get out of there. I wanted to kill myself before they killed me, because I thought it would hurt less, or it would be less terrifying. So that was a neural pathway that was formed. Boom. When I feel my life's in danger, I got to take myself out. Well, I had to break that neural pathway. There's other things to do before you off yourself.
Well, I'm glad it didn't work. I'm glad you're still here.
Thank you, dear. Yeah. Well, the kids, at the end of the day, it's these
That's
little.
what it's about. Exactly. So I want to say hello. Who are you? Hi.
Who's this?
Who is this? Hello.
Hey.
You look familiar. Who is this? What's your name?
My name's Riley. Hello.
Hi, Christ?
Riley. That's Riley.
Riley. Oh, okay, because we were talking about Christ being on Earth.
You look different with your hair
I
back.
know you're Riley, because
Yeah.
I'm watching your videos. I'm like, this is cute, Riley. It's so nice. I feel like I'm on with famous people today. All of you guys are like becoming famous, and it's exciting.
Holy crap, I'm such a nobody. Are you serious? I only come on to feel important because Gerard's important.
I love your energy, Tiana. I appreciate your courage more than you can imagine.
Well, thank you. That's very nice to hear.
Riley,
Riley,
how are you? Tell